Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So we are back, and we are discussing, or at least the topic for this episode is narcissists. Ooh, this could be interesting.
Mm.
Um, we clearly are aware of one. We are clearly aware of one. And I mean, don't get me wrong. We've met quite a number of them
We've
over the
had
years.
plenty narcissists.
Yes, we
Let
cut.
me let's
Let's take it easy on this one, or
no.
let's
I'm
take
just
it slow.
saying. Sometimes we can be
Narcissistic as well.
yes.
Really, you think
So
we can?
I think so.
We, or you're talking about me?
Both of us. I think sometimes. Listen, I grew up dealing with a narcissist, so I would sometimes. I feel like sometimes I
Project it as well,
yes,
or
and
you
I try
or
and catch
reflect it more like it.
myself. I've
You
been
might.
working on myself, trying to.
But leave that up to me, baby. I don't mind working you. Um, no, no, sincerely. I mean, we, it's certainly a common topic nowadays. I guess with the climate we're in, in this world, I don't want to get, I definitely don't want to get into that. But why don't you start us off?
Okay. Well, the definition of the word narcissist in the Cambridge Dictionary is as follows: someone who has too much admiration for himself or herself. Narcissism, too much interest in and admiration for your own physical appearance and or your own abilities.
Okay.
Then there's the narcissistic personality disorder, which is NPD. Is a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them. They have to be center of attention all the time.
Oh, wait a minute. Now I do sound like that a little bit. Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
People with this disorder may lack the ability to understand or care about the feelings of others. Sorry. But behind the mask of extreme confidence, they are not sure of their self-worth and are easily upset by the slightest criticism. Sorry. A narcissistic person has a lack of empathy. They brag, seek special treatment, and are unhappy when they don't get the attention they believe they deserve. Not everyone with narcissistic traits has NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. So basically, if they don't get their way, they have tantrums.
Wow. Ooh, this one's a touchy one, I think. So I think, I'm looking at your notes over there, and I'm looking at mine, and I think, yeah, we've got some similar phrases, as far as, oh, please don't cover mine because I want
Hold
to
on,
be
hold
able to
on.
read
I'm
mine.
just trying to flip mine.
But yeah, we certainly have some similar phrases and or traits. I could certainly, let me start with a couple that I've got
Mm.
here, like traits for narcissists. Excuse me, grandiosity, an inflated sense of self-importance, often exaggerating achievements and talents. Wow. Um, you know, I've in the past, okay, I have no problem with confidence, right? I really don't have a problem with confidence in yourself. I mean, that's an amazing and important trait, for you to get through life for day to day.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with the narcissistic trait of grandiosity is, um, I don't need to hear you say it out constantly. I don't need to hear you say something like, "Oh, I'm an amazing cook," and then when I finally eat your food, and I'm like, "No, you're not." Um, "Oh man, I'm the best at this," and no, you're not. Maybe you're really good at it, and maybe you haven't come across someone that can challenge you.
Mm.
Maybe,
Mm.
um, but I think yeah, that part of it really needs to get toned down, in my opinion. It really, for me, I mean, if I was still in that world of dating, of course, and if it was someone that I was interested in and they started bragging about themselves virtually, that is an extreme turnoff.
Mm.
Very much so. And it's
You're
an
like, this
extreme turn.
person's so full of themselves.
Oh my gosh. Again, I grew up with people like this. I've still to this day, there are some people that I come across, and you know very well, I'll turn to you and I go, here we go. They're talking like they know it all. They're talking like they're the best at something. And
Mm.
again, if you're that good at it, you don't need to tell everybody.
Yeah.
You don't.
Mm-hmm.
The need for admiration, a constant craving for attention and praise from others.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that goes with the bragging, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That goes with,
Me, look
oh,
at
look at
me.
me. Oh, yeah,
Look what I can do.
I got a big car. I'm amazing at whatever, wiffle ball. Whatever. You know, I mean, I'm just pulling that stuff.
I think I'm the total opposite. Like people say, "Oh, I'm like, I don't think so." You always say that.
Well, you're freaking hot, but you know,
No, like I don't think I'm the best cook, but you say I cook
no,
well.
you cook really well. But you know what though? Also, you're not standing out there freaking shouting from the rooftops. Hey, look at eat my food. You know, I cook this amazingly.
And my arts and crafts, I just do them because they keep me.
Keep you happy.
Yeah.
You know.
But everybody says, "Oh, you're so talented."
I think, and well, I mean, you are, but you know, and I think that of course, I think the opposite to that is modesty. Because I got to tell you, I know there's things that you tell me and I'm going, all right, cut it out. Stop, please. And I maybe it's because we weren't raised with someone telling us we're great at stuff.
Yes.
That's possibly
you
it
always
as
tell
well.
Me I take
You don't know how to take a
compliments.
compliment.
Yes, I
You
don't
know how to take a compliment.
compliments.
And honestly, I don't think I know how to either at times. Because even when you'll tell me something like, oh, I'm proud of you. And I'm going, let's be proud of ourselves, or just because I don't know how to react to it. And it's a shame when even for me, it's a shame, I think, just because I'm going, I don't know how to react to
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Well,
also deceptive behavior, they're pathological.
Oh, the pathological liar.
Yes.
Man, we had, can I tell you this? Can I tell you? So there was a number of people we grew up with. Even to this day, there was a guy there was a couple guys I worked with not too many years ago, but I'm at this point in my life, I'm like, I'm gonna call a BSer a BSer. You know what I mean? And I'm going. And I remember this one guy that I worked with. He was like, "Yeah, my apartment." Dude, you live in your mother's basement. Stop the nonsense. And you're not paying rent. And he just, well, I have my own entrance. It's like, why don't you, instead
That
of...
reminds me of the Wedding
Preface.
Crashers. The guy they look up to, but mind you, he lives with his mom.
Right. I mean, there were guys that we had. I'm not going to name their names. Unfortunately, one has passed away. Great guy, but, ooh, man, what was one of the things? They called him the Lion King. Sir Lie-a-Lot. Yeah, there was a few things. The story box. Remember
You
like
guys
that from the
are
romper
horrible.
room? Well, I mean,
guys
yeah,
are horrible.
it's messed up. I look back at things and I'm going, all right, there was certain things I got picked on for, but then there's other things that you go, man, that dude just loves to tell a story because he ain't telling the truth. There was one, I mean, and even you, not you personally, but I remember you would tell me stuff about a relative of yours. We're not going to say who. Oh, he's a firefighter, and he did this thing when we were younger, and from the trees in Puerto Rico,
Well, I
and
saw him with my
he
own
was this,
eyes.
and he was that,
You were just
and I'm sitting
upset.
there going, dude, he sounds like a superhero. You made it. Oh yeah, they would climb and they would swing from trees. I said,
Well,
hold up a
I'm
minute.
sorry.
Are you
For
talking about a
me, he
relative?
was
Or
my
are we talking about
superhero.
we're talking about McGilla Gorilla from swinging from trees?
Okay, I'm
You know
going
what
to
I'm
tell you
saying?
who he's talking about.
No,
He's talking
nope.
about, yes, I'm going to say it. He's talking about my uncle. I grew up with a single mom. And we had to get up and leave very quickly from New York, from here. We had to move to Puerto Rico because my mother had to take care of some family business. And I lived there with her for 2 years. And my uncle lived with us with our grandmother. And he
With
was
your grandmother.
with both, yeah, my grandmother and his mom and my mom's mom. We all grew up together for those 2 years, and he was the only male role model that I had in my life, including other cousins and my uncles, my mother's uncles. And he did a lot of stuff. He was a jack of all trades, and he was a forest firefighter. He was a mechanic. He did a lot of stuff, and he was like, "What the heck?"
You
For
thought
me,
you swore he was
my
Jamaican with all the jobs he had.
he,
I
he
was
was
like,
my
yo, he had a
superhero.
heck of a lot of freaking
know,
occupations.
he
You know what I'm
was like
saying?
sort of
I
the
mean, don't get me
black
wrong.
sheep
I mean,
of the
now
family.
nowadays you call it a hustle. You know, he's a hustler.
Yes,
Meaning,
well,
and not in a bad way. I mean, just a hustler that
he
he
was
would.
left to his own devices very young age, and he had to learn how to
Yeah, and he
do
swung from
things for
trees,
himself.
and he read minds, and at one point he flew.
He did in a helicopter.
Here
But
we go.
no,
Okay,
they
he was
used
a
to.
helicopter pilot. Now
No,
she's
he
making
was
it
not a
sound like.
pilot. He had to fly into fires, and he would jump out of. Anyway, so yeah, there was a game that him and his friends used to play because we used to live
El Junque.
by El Yunque, and it's foresty. It's up in the mountains.
It's the
where we lived.
rainforest of Puerto
It's
Rico.
a rainforest. So there's a lot of trees, and one of their games was what is it? Not hide and seek, but catch. Is it catch? Tag. Thank you.
Tag.
And they would play that on the trees, on top of the trees, so they would jump from branch to branch and try and tag each other. And that was a game they used to play. Unfortunately, one time
the
he
racists
fell.
already have a bad view of Puerto Rican or Latinos.
Stop
You're really gonna
it.
say that we're swinging from trees, honey?
No,
This
that's
is not
you.
a good thing.
You're the one that's saying that. I thought it was fun.
Not a good look, baby.
Whatever.
You're
He
making
fell,
us look
he broke
bad.
his arm, and he stopped doing that. 'Cause my mother
Okay.
told him to
Oh,
stop.
wait a minute. He got hurt. He can get hurt. I thought he was invincible. But no. All right, let's go back to the narcissistic. Let's go back to the narcissist.
You're such a narcissist.
All right.
Okay, addictive behaviors, substance abuse. That could be a trait.
Really? I didn't know that. Honestly, that's not one of mine. That's a
Rage, explosive anger.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but again, that's a trait. That's not necessarily strictly toward narcissism.
Well, it says narcissistic traits
Right.
right there on the top.
I,
Brainwashing.
ooh, that goes with the
Manipulative
that goes with the
influence.
gaslighting. That goes with gaslighting.
Yes, and
You
I
know?
hate when people use that word and don't know what
Oh, okay.
it means.
Okay.
Guys, educate yourselves.
Yeah,
before
don't be
you
a bunch
use-
of morons.
Guys,
Morons.
stop gaslighting me. First of all, what's the definition of gaslighting? You
Yeah,
don't know
our son
because you're
said that
using it
crap to me
incorrectly.
a few weeks back, and I went, first thing I want you to do is spell it. Second thing I want you to do is explain to me what gaslighting is. You know what it is. Oh, I know what it is. I want you to tell me what it is. No, please tell me in your best, your
He just wanted
simplest
to win
words.
the argument. That's all.
Freaking pain in my
Okay,
butt.
let's get back on to
Yeah.
paranoia, distrustful mindset. You know who I thought about when I read that. He doesn't trust anybody.
Oh, okay. That's the other part of that equation over there. Yes.
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 Yeah, paranoia. They brainwash you. They
Oh,
make you
definitely
think
has that issue.
gaslighting. They make you distrust other people because then those people be like, listen, this person is got
That goes with part of one of mine as well. Envy of others.
Envy of others.
Oh,
yes.
because that person
Like you
definitely
can't be
has
their
an
friend
issue.
if you're my friend.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the jealousy. Jealousy is rampant with this one person. Freaking dirtbag. And no, we're not talking about her mother. We're talking about the person that's
Let's
associated with her mother. Let's just say that.
Contract breaker, unreliable agreements. So you know that flaky person that's never there for you, but you always have to be there for them.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
because
know a couple people like that.
yeah,
Because
high roller, manipulative success, blame game, avoiding responsibility.
yep, no accountability.
Yep. Violent, aggressive tendencies. That would have to go with
With the
with the explosive
with the
anger.
rage. Yep.
Yeah. Controlling, manipulative.
Manipulative.
I'm sorry, I can't
I
say.
know, but that's why I'm helping you out. That's why we're doing
Manipulative.
this together, honey.
Manipulating, social domination. So, like he said, they won't let you hang out with other people, and
You know, can I go a bit? Can I elaborate on that a little bit? You know, it's funny because again, I was reading that book, Toxic Relationship Recovery, with by, I want to say her the author's name again is Jamie Mailer. We may have her on a future episode, hopefully.
I hope so.
Just waiting for you to finish the book. Of course, you'll finish it. Don't worry about it.
I'm highlighting.
Yes,
I'm
and I
making
appreciate
notes.
that. I appreciate that. Okay, so regarding that, as far as the social
Social
domination,
domination.
you know, it's funny how that one of the things that came up in that book was how in toxic relationships, again, I don't want to dwell too much on that because it's a future episode, but how, and unfortunately, I am I wouldn't say a victim, the opposite of a victim. I'm certainly one of those people that has a bad habit of doing this. Not all the time, but of, oh, we're great when we're in front of everyone, and then all of a sudden later on, I'm going, you know, you shouldn't have done this. You don't do that. At least out, you know, on the side. Now I
Oh,
know
to
of,
me, you mean?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I know, and don't get me wrong. I think we do it a little. You do it a little bit to me, but not as much as I do it to you, and I want to
No,
apologize for
we
that.
hold each other accountable for things.
Okay.
Sometimes
Thank
we
you for
do.
thinking of it that way. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
sometimes we do things
But
unintentionally.
then there's those other times where we don't see it very often because I think both of us are the type that are going to be like, what the hell's going on if we see that with a couple that we know. Not that we don't know of any couple. I don't know of any couple this way,
I don't
but I'm trying to
understand.
say, like, let's say, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Just let's say you're saying something, right? And I turn and start giving you a certain look, like, cut it out. You know, almost like a bully, without being the bully, and then all of a sudden I'm going, all right, enough of that. You don't need to speak now, sort of thing.
What?
This is what I mean. And again, I don't think that's certainly no one. We don't know of anyone like that,
Yeah.
but I know of it. You know what I'm
This
saying?
is true.
I know
Yeah.
of it,
Yes.
and I think
this
that
is
goes with the social domination.
yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Well, I know people that I haven't been able to hang out with or get close to as much as I used to be. And I feel it's because due to social domination that their significant other doesn't want me to be in their life.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, which she's finally divorced, yay! That person always used to tell her, I don't want you hanging out with her.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Dick.
And
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best not to curse on this, but yeah, he was a dick.
well, social domination, they don't want you to be with certain people. And sometimes
But she
with
didn't put
no
up
one
with
at
that.
all.
She didn't put up with that. Though.
No, no.
She would never put up with that.
Hence the reason why she's divorced.
Well, I mean,
But
we could talk about it. She's been on any episode already.
yes,
We could
Terry.
yeah, we could definitely talk about it.
But
I mean, and she doesn't mind us cursing him out.
Narcissists want to control exactly who do you hang out with, and because once again they want to control you, they want to manipulate
The
you.
other part of the equation,
Jesus.
right? The other
Yes,
part of the
dear.
equation.
Yes,
Am I wrong? It's true.
Okay, and also they come off like, oh, you're my soulmate. You're my soulmate. This cunning attraction. So
I think more like killing your soulmate, and I mean that. I mean that figuratively. They're
Okay.
killing that person's soul, is what I'm
and
trying to say.
quiet and isolated, social withdrawal. They sometimes narcissists withdraw socially because they don't get what they want, like, let's say, oh, we're not hanging out with that group of people anymore.
Or they pull the, or at times some narcissists will do the silent treatment.
Yeah.
Literally do the
Quite
silent.
isolated. Yeah. Social withdrawal. Risk taking, thrill seeking, impulsive behavior.
That I don't see very often from too
do.
many people that I know.
I
of.
do.
Oh yeah.
All the shopping, all the
Oh
buying
yeah,
things,
yeah.
like
That's
big
actually a good.
purchases.
That is a good well, not a segue, but a good analogy, because I didn't even think about that.
Big
That's
purchases,
a good point.
yeah.
That's definitely. Let me go through a couple of mine. Lack of empathy.
Yes.
Difficulty understanding or sharing their feelings of others. The feelings of others, more likely.
Lack of empathy. I like the way where I was looking it up. It says emotional vacuum.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
I
I like that. I like that. We could actually do an episode just called that. Emotional vacuum cleaner or vacuumer.
Where's my
Vacuum.
highlighter?
Entitlement. And an unreasonable expectation of special treatment or automatic compliance from others. One of those things where, hey, I'm here now. This is what I expect. You know, again, go away. No, don't, no. I think one of the reasons why we were able to start this podcast is I think we just got tired, or not even tired. We've come to a point in our lives where like, no, we don't need to put up with that nonsense anymore. You know,
When you get to a certain age, when you get emotionally maturity.
well, again, we went through that. We
Yeah.
went the emotional maturity thing, the EQ instead of IQ, EQ.
Yeah, you start cutting certain people off.
Well, and
Out of your
cutting
life.
or cutting them down. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't want to completely cut them off. We're not telling anyone to do that.
No.
I mean, unless that's something you absolutely
If it's
have
a
to do.
toxic relationship.
We of course you do what you got to do, but definitely cut them down, I mean cut them down in the amount of time you're giving them is what I'm trying to say. Exploitative behavior, taking advantage of others to achieve their own goals. Oh man, have I seen that? Especially in the workplace, you see that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you stand there and you're going, really? This is who you want to be? You know, because like that old saying, yeah, that ladder doesn't just go up, it comes back down.
Yeah.
So whoever you're stepping on to go up, you may see them on the way back down, and what's going to happen then?
Exactly.
You know,
Don't burn those bridges, people.
arrogance, a haughty or conceited attitude, often belittling others. You know when I used to see this, like the old phrase, cock blocker? I used to see this with a couple of the guys I grew up with. We definitely had one in particular. He would definitely do that to me and try to make me look, and it wasn't even like I was interested in the girl. It was more of the trying to make me look bad to make himself look good. And I'm going,
people.
and I'm standing there looking at you like,
and the girl wouldn't notice, like.
well, I mean, if the girl was not around anymore, you know what I mean? It wasn't.
No, I'm saying, but at that moment,
if she did, she certainly wouldn't mention it. I remember this other guy. Oh man, there was this one guy. We didn't hang out with him. We played softball with him. And this is when I was much younger. I must have been like 12, 13 years old. This guy was he was a douche. He had about 5, 6 years on us. So okay. I was 12, 13. He was probably 18, 19 years old. And he would start really showboating for this one girl that would show up, and he would start talking down to us. And we're like, what makes you don't even realize how stupid and if she's okay with that, then she's a bigger loser than you. And now
that's
that
what I was thinking.
When I look back at it.
Yeah.
Difficult, I think we already said this, but difficulty with criticism, reacting with rage or defensiveness to even minor criticism. In my younger years, I've always been a bit of a critic. I'll be honest. I was always a bit of a critic.
Was?
Okay. Okay, how about this? I was always a bit of a critic, but I can tell you that I've learned to criticize better.
But you're still criticizing.
Yes, but I've learned to finesse it a little bit more instead of just going, wow, you're crappy at that. You know that you should, you remember how it was that I was a bit, again,
A-hole.
wow, that was, I don't know if that was necessary, but again, that's difficulty with criticism, I guess.
Okay.
But no, but seriously, I would say things and also I would be mean. I mean, there's no other way to call it. It was just being mean sometimes. And it was being mean for me to get a chuckle out of it. I remember one guy,
That's not nice.
I remember one guy, he came to me and he goes, oh, Kev, take a look. I got my tattoo. And I said, oh, wow, that looks cool. I said, now you just got to work out and now maybe you'll grow into it.
Oh my God, you're the worst.
And I still think it's sort of funny. But
That's not nice, though.
and he just looked at me like, oh, damn, that's
You
messed up.
deflated his ego. That's not nice.
But, he had this tiny little arm that had a lot of flabby flab.
Well, speaking of, look, saintly, hypocritical morality.
Oh, I don't have that. No, not at all. Hypocritical morality?
Yes.
I wouldn't say that.
Like
but-
to the point like, oh, I would never.
oh, no.
And then you would find out, oh, they have and then some.
I think the only thing I ever would say I would never was drugs. That was the only thing. You know that. That was the only thing I ever said no.
Yeah, but then
That and,
you would
something
look
else I don't want to
down-
get into, but
you
yeah.
would look down on people until I had that talk with you. And I'm like, that's not
Yeah, I mean, it
something-
took me a long time to get over that. Because, I mean, hey, I grew up in the crack is whack and this is your brain on drugs.
Say
And,
no to drugs.
and nowadays I look at it like, look, it's not like the person's strictly an addict. It's more of, hey, it could be medicinal.
Exactly.
It could be.
So do not
But again,
judge.
I've evolved.
Hypocritical
I've
morality.
evolved.
Okay. Feigning remorse.
Oof, that's ugly.
Yeah.
That's ugly. Feigning remorse? That's just an ugly
I'm like, oh, I'm
trait.
so sorry, but they don't mean it.
Oh,
That's what feigning remorse. Excuse me? What do you mean?
well,
Example, please. They would
well,
like to know.
honey, dear,
What?
I love you to death, but you don't like apologizing.
Listen,
And hold
listen.
on. You don't like apologizing. You have a real hard time apologizing. And when you do, and we've spoken about this before, because I think we spoke about this during the arguing episode, you will say, but I said I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And
I
it's
say
like,
I'm sorry.
no.
But
See, but you
he
don't
doesn't
say,
like
you
the
don't
way I
apologize.
said I'm
because
sorry.
it doesn't come
So
off
then
as,
I get upset.
wow, I thought I was speaking.
And then I said, but I said I'm sorry.
No.
Wasn't it good enough for you?
It's not about being good enough, honey. It doesn't come off as sincere. It really doesn't. And it does. And again, it's not a time to start an argument, but you know who's like that and they don't apologize. What they'll do is, and I swear, I don't think I've ever heard that person apologize ever. And
They'll say I'm sorry, but then they
Nah.
won't take accountability and point it like, oh, it was this person's fault or it happened because
right, you don't
X,
do that.
Y, Z.
That you don't do. That part you don't do.
No,
but as
I
far
say
as
I'm sorry, and I'm like, okay,
yeah, but
I
it just
take,
doesn't sound sincere a lot of times when you say it. That's why I say it.
I'm gonna stab you. With
I'm being honest. Are you having difficulty with criticism, dear?
Okay. So you're saying I'm a narcissist? No.
All right, let me go over a couple more, and just the traits wise, because
Okay.
superficial relationships that are often shallow and lacking in genuine connection. Yeah. I mean, maybe I think that's a tough one because even if you don't realize you're a narcissist, you think you have friends, and you don't realize maybe they're not really your friends. But again, there could be things that you're going, oh, that one's my friend. Oh, I'm a friend of such and such. And they look at you like, I barely know who that is.
Yeah.
Who? What? I remember there was that one guy I worked with. This is a different guy, but I
Oh
worked
yeah,
with
my
this.
friend, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we hung out all the time. And when I turned to that person, I said, hey, such and such. This guy's saying that you guys hang out all the time, and they looked at me like, we we barely spoke to each other, and it was one time that we just happened to be in the same place.
That happens a lot, like you said, in the workplace as well.
Well, that was the workplace.
Okay.
That was in the workplace. Envy of others, feeling envious of others' successes or possessions, or believing others are envious of them. Oh, they're so jealous of me. Oh, 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 they're so jealous. No, they're not. I think the face that they're giving to you is because maybe you smell a little.
Shut up. Are you done with the?
No, I got two more here.
Okay.
Preoccupation with fantasies. Obsession with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, or ideal love.
I like
Yeah, I
that.
think this also goes with the grandiosity, I believe, a little
Yeah.
bit, right? Just thinking that they're amazing at everything and so forth. And then lastly, as far as a trait is concerned, that I have belief in uniqueness, a belief that they are special and can only be understood by other special or high status people. Yeah, I've heard this one before as well, where they're going, oh, you wouldn't understand. Only such and such, because we come from the same, we're cut from the same cloth. You've heard that crap? Yeah, you cut from the same cloth. That cloth was wiping somebody's butt a minute ago. Cut the crap. Okay? But again, I digress.
That's fine.
Oh, you can hold on. It's not going anywhere.
No, but I want to make notes. Okay, so
all
what
right.
about,
So
I
now,
also
Kat.
want to say that a person may develop narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, due to combination of factors. One, family history. A history of NPD can increase the risk of developing the disorder. So if you were brought up by a narcissist, you might become a narcissist because that's all you knew. I swear to, I'm gonna punch the.
I'm not
crap
saying
out of you.
anything. I'm not saying anything.
Okay, the second one, early life experiences. Certain early experiences such as trauma or abuse may contribute to the development of NPD. Environmental circumstances. The child-parent relationship and other environmental factors play a significant role. Lack of empathy development. Not developing empathy during childhood is a warning sign for developing NPD. These factors together can influence the likelihood of developing narcissistic traits and ultimately NPD. So you could have certain narcissistic traits, but that doesn't mean that you have NPD.
Right.
NPD, sorry. Okay. At the mayoclinic.org says the narcissistic personality disorder affects more males than females.
Not in our case.
And I think they both are. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
often begins in the teens or early adulthood. Some children may show traits of narcissism, but this is often typical of their age and doesn't mean they'll go on to develop narcissistic. Well, basically, children are narcissists.
Yeah,
At a point.
I think up until a certain age they can
Exactly.
be, and that's okay. I think it's okay as
But
long
that
as it's
doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna develop
carry it into adulthood.
NPD. Yes.
Right.
People with a disorder can have an unreasonably high sense of self-importance, like you said, and require constant, excessive admiration. They constantly want more and more and more. They feel that they deprive privileges and they deserve privileges and special treatment. Like you say, grandiosity, right? Grandiosity. And what else? Oh, I like this one. Expect to be recognized as a superior even without achievements. Oh my God, how many times in the workplace, how many people do we have to deal with that have this trait?
That guy that I told you about the other day that from what I understand he got fired from the next job. That Jerk.
Thanks.
That's pretty funny. Uh, any more, or
Yeah.
can I go on?
Make achievements and talents seem bigger than they are. So like, oh, look at me, I did this, and it's like, yeah, okay, big deal. We do that all the time.
This one guy, he used to do that all the time
Yeah,
with me.
they seem bigger than they. Oh, look at me, I did this. I'm like, okay, it's your job. When you want a parade?
I got a couple of phrases before you go on.
Okay.
Okay, I got a
Yeah,
couple of
'cause
phrases for
I
narcissists.
got
Yeah,
things.
you got a lot. Phrases that narcissists tend to use. I'm just being honest.
Oh my
Oh, I want
gosh.
to kick you in the twat.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I am such a twat kicker. When I hear that, oh my gosh,
Excuse me.
you're too sensitive.
Oh, I get that all the time.
I know. I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right. Oh, I remember speaking to this
Okay,
one
a
guy
lot
I
of
grew up
women
with.
use that.
No, this one guy I grew up with said this to me, and I just was like, and at the time, again, this was like over 30 years ago, and yeah, like over 35 years ago probably. And I said, and I just looked, and at the time, the narcissist phrase really wasn't connecting with me, but I knew at the time, I was like, that doesn't sound right.
What
That's
phrase?
that that I
You're
literally
so
heard that.
sensitive.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right.
Like I
There
said, a
was
lot
one
of
guy in
women use
particular.
that.
There was
That's
one guy I grew up with in particular said that to me, and I just stood there like, "Is he for real?" And
Was he
I
right
was stunned.
or
No, he was full of himself. That's what he was.
he's narcissistic?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What was the other one?
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Okay, that's not an apology, people.
Excuse me.
That's not an apology.
Allergies.
That's an apology for you being a jerk. That's an apology to the world, making everyone know that you're a jerk. You're still not apologizing. That's not a sincere apology. Can't you take a joke? Okay, you know what? I am very much the type that jokes a lot. I can joke about nearly anything. Okay? But I've learned over time there's a time and place. And I still make the mistake every once in a while. I'm not going to say I'm perfect. But again, there's certain things you just don't say. And when you hear that phrase, can't you take a joke? Clearly it wasn't the joke that you should have said. This guy I work with just recently was saying something to me, and I looked at him, and I finally had to say to him, I was like, make that the last time you say it.
Thanks.
Make that the last time you say that. Because it was really offensive, and I don't
He
want to
didn't make
repeat
you
it
run?
here. It was really offensive to me, to you. You weren't even there, and it was offensive to you. And I just looked at it, I was like, you need to stop saying that.
Oh, you better tell me what that is.
Oh, I'll
later.
tell you later. I'll tell you later. Another one. It's not all about you. Now, I say that jokingly. I tend to say that to people all the time. But I say it jokingly, like, because, they're saying stuff or I'm talking about things. I'm like, it's not all about you. But again, I don't mean that maliciously. Again, it's just a running joke I have. And again, it's not malicious. So if anybody heard me say that, trust me, it's not, it's nothing that I meant. It's just one of those things that I like to say because it's a running joke of mine. That's all.
That it's not all about you.
Yeah. All right. You got more? Let's go. Those were some of
I'm
the
just going
phrases.
through because some of them you already. Ooh, sorry, you already went over that. Be critical of and look down on people that they feel are not important. I used to be felt. I was always made to be felt that way. Like there's
You weren't worth.
yeah,
You
like
weren't worth your.
you're not worth the time of me listening to whatever you have to say. It's not important enough, or I would get shut down right away. I couldn't express myself, so that really hits home. You know, look down on people they feel that are not important, and they make sure that they let you know that they know or they feel that in
You're not
their
worth that
eyes
time.
you're not important to them. Expect special favors and expect other people to do what they want without questioning them. Like, you have to. You're supposed to.
I know where you're going with that.
Okay, take advantage of others to get what they want. Avi.
Oh, don't
Have
say Avi. Please don't say Avi.
have the inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others, which is the lack of empathy. You said be envious of others. Behave in an arrogant way, brag a lot, and come across as conceited. Insist on having the best of everything, which you said that also, like the best car, the
Yeah, yeah.
best whatever. At the same time, people with narcissistic personality disorder have trouble handling anything that they view as criticism. They can become impatient or angry when they don't receive special recognition, which we had discussed before, have major problems interacting with others, and easily feel slighted. Like anything you do,
Yeah, it's
you
almost
did
like a
that on
trigger for
purpose.
them.
Yeah.
It's almost like a trigger for them, but it's like, no, I think you're you're so your radar is up for anything,
Anything. Like,
and
oh, you
it's
did that on purpose. You said that on purpose. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
yeah,
Anything. They'll just jump down and say, oh, you did that on purpose. Um, what else? What else? React with rage, which we also said. Contempt and try to belittle other people to make themselves feel superior, which you also said. Um, experience major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change. Um, a lot of times I notice that, and I know my son is always saying, "Oh, that's an autistic trait." Like they don't like change, but a narcissist also doesn't like change. They don't like to get to be caught with their pants down or something to that effect.
maybe because they got tiny weenies.
Oh,
Sorry.
wait, yeah. So they have problems dealing with stress, like anything like stresses them out, or they don't want to deal with a certain problem. They push it down, or they
You're fired.
yes, or that stresses me out. I can't deal with that. Here, you deal with that. That's too stressful. Or they just keep on what's the word I'm looking for when you don't deal with something right away? Procrastinate. Um, let's see what else. Withdraw from or avoid situations to which they might fail. So they don't even attempt anything. Like if they have a fear that they might fail, they won't um, do it. Like for instance, oh, I can't swim. Well, I don't know how to swim. So instead of telling people they don't know how to swim, they're like, oh no, I can't get, I think I'm coming down with something. Or I remember this one person, they didn't know how to swim and they would have every excuse under the book. And I'm like, listen, why don't you just tell people you don't know how to swim? I know how to swim. I
You
said,
should have kicked them in the pool.
you would do that. I
Kick
would
them in the
not.
pool. All right, let's see if you can swim.
They don't want to try anything because they're afraid that they might fail and they'll look stupid. Um, feel depressed and moody because they fall short of perfection. So that's when they snap at you. Um, have secret feelings of insecurity, shame, humiliation, and fear of being exposed as a failure. You see there's like a little uh, repetitive
Yeah.
there. Fail, fail. They're afraid to fail. They don't want to be seen as a failure and stuff like that. You could go.
No, no, go ahead.
Um,
I'm a.
okay, so this is the last of what I have. People with narcissistic personality disorder may not want to think anything could be wrong, so they usually don't seek treatment. If they do seek treatment, it's more likely to be for symptoms of depression, drug or alcohol abuse, or another mental problem. If you recognize aspects of your personality that are common to narcissistic personality disorder, or you're feeling overwhelmed by sadness, consider reaching out to a trusted healthcare professional, provider, or a mental health provider. Sorry. So if you feel like you might have MPD, it could be that, and you could seek professional help, or it could be depression. Makes some of those traits go hand in hand with depression. Um, or if you see yourself drinking a little bit more and it keeps on increasing and you feel like you're getting into a habit, alcoholic and
Alcohol abuse.
abuse, and um, definitely seek help because it could be MPD or it could be any of those other things.
So just a couple of last things I wanted to say. You know, I got this quote online. Dr. Wayne Dyer says, how people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours. And lastly, I just want to say, at the end of the day, it's not about changing them. It's about protecting yourself. Because I think we're all a little narcissistic ourselves at times. Of course, we've hit on that already today. But some people are true narcissists.
Yes.
And they don't really care about how you feel.
Lack of empathy.
And you need to protect yourself from that. And I hope you do. And if you don't, I get it. Let me know. Give me a call or send me an email and reach out to me. I'll certainly kick a person in the twat.
I thought you were going to say you're going to what is it? Refer them to a specialist.
Or no, maybe I could reach out to a twat kicker near you.
Oh my God,
But
guys, I'm so
and
sorry.
that'll be on a T-shirt probably at some point. This is so sad because I'm wearing the church T-shirt and I'm talking like that. But it's a school of hope. Just so you know, our church they sponsor a school
Our
in
pastors
Africa.
must be so proud.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that, guys. But I mean that all in jest. I would never kick a
But
person in
like
the
we
twat.
said, we're not professionals.
Not
We're
at all.
just friends sharing their
Experiences
yes.
and our unfortunate our unfortunate experiences. But again, please certainly follow, subscribe, share this episode with anyone you think may need to hear it. I think we got a lot off our chest on this one. This is one of our longer episodes.
Yeah.
And again, follow, share. Please comment.
Yes.
Go to our website, kevinlilhavewemet.com.
Let us know what kind of episode you would like to hear.
You can certainly
or
reach
if you
out.
want to be a guest and you have an experience you want to share.
Certainly. We're trying. I'm actually screening now for worst dates ever. So, I placed that on Instagram. I placed that on Facebook as well. So you can certainly go to us. It's the exact same handle or whatchamacallit. It's still Kevin Lil Have We Met. It's with no spaces, nothing else, strictly Kevin Lil Have We Met.
And our link tree has all the
yes, and you can go to our link tree as well, and certainly go to that and subscribe and follow and do all that fantastic stuff. And for those that have, thank you again.
Yes, we really appreciate it.
We picked up another 2 countries this week.
Woohoo!
We picked up the Netherlands and Switzerland.
Yes.
So Switzerland is not exactly on the fence anymore. They've picked a side, and they picked our
They
side.
picked us. Kevin Lil.
That's right. Hey, even comment on that. I think that's pretty cool. Lil, I don't know where she got it from, but it's freaking cool as hell. I love it. We should put that. I should put that as a
Not
tattoo on my
sponsored.
throat, like right here. Put it on my throat. No, joking. But again,
Tattoo.
please do so. And again, thank you for listening.
Bye.